happy to think I shall not so much be losing it.
Use them as an aid to decisions and not let them rule your life, but help you.
Being an accounting technician means working for a qualified accountant and carrying out most of the routine work on the accounts of his clients. Ginny works for a firm of accountants based in Gray's Inn in London. Like Lincoln's Inn, it's full of offices and flats occupied by people whose work is involved in legal matters. But although Ginny and Michael spend much of their time in this kind of legal environment, they could both equally well be doing their job in other areas. In fact, there are solicitors and accountants' offices in most towns in the country, and many of them at some time employ young legal executives or accounting technicians.
The firm I work for is a full partner firm with up to 20 clerks, that is article clerks, people who are studying for exams with view to becoming a qualified accountant. We're all very friendly with each other, and you do have to rely on this friendliness because you get taught by people who are senior to you and you teach people who are junior to you. I'd like you to do me a bank payment schedule.
How do I do that?
Using the headings there, can you head up that paper there? Put the figures across there and the months down there. Then cast it.
Yes.
Okay? I'm just going off to see the partner.
As well as helping and advising those junior to herself, Ginny's own work is supervised by seniors and managers in the firm, and she may even from time to time have to consult one of the partners of the firm who is a chartered accountant.
I've been doing these accounts on the computer, and those are the draft accounts.
Okay, thank you.
With any small problems you have while you're preparing the accounts, you usually ask a senior clerk for advice, but if it's a problem that involves the client, then you take the problem to the partner, who then either tells you what you should do or asks the client if it's necessary to consult him to solve it.
I think the best way of getting it is to go through his paying in book, compare that with his schedule of life business underwritten during the last period of the year, and work out an accrual from that. Do you think you'll be all right on that?
Fine, thank you. Most people seem to have the idea that accounting involves an awful lot of figures and adding up and advanced mathematics. Most accounting, contrary to most people's opinion, is not complicated mathematical problems, but more a case of simple arithmetic, which, with the aid of a calculator, can be fairly simple.
To get promotion, Ginny will have to pass certain exams. Her firm give her part-time day release so she can take courses for these exams at a local college of further education.
I was employed on the basis of studying for the Institute of Accounting Staff Examinations with view to eventually getting the certified qualification to become a qualified accountant. I now go to college to study for these examinations, and I've taken part 1 already and passed it, and I'm now studying part 2. The firm give me part-time day release in order to study for the part 2 examinations, which I will be taking next June.
Next one, direct materials, direct labour.
The course is very interesting. We have company law, which gets slightly involved, cost accountancy, which is fairly accurate, and we have a very nice lecturer for that.
If you had those figures, that would total up, Miss Brown?
Prime cost.
Prime cost.
All the practical experience I'm getting while I'm working helps a great deal in my exams, and it brings home all the theory, because you can relate it to the work you have been doing during the week.
Those two total up to?
Factory cost of production.
Factory cost of production. Factory cost of production.
Sometimes Ginny has to travel away from home. A major part of her firm's work is involved in auditing the accounts of many large companies. Auditing means checking the figures in company accounts to see that no mistakes have been made. It's the law that every company has to have its accounts audited. They have to employ a firm of accountants to do this work, and they must, by law, give their files to people from this firm. Ginny and her colleagues must be allowed access to all their accounts records, no matter how confidential. Including Ginny, there are 4 people from her firm who'll be working together on this audit. One of them is a senior, and he'll be in charge of the work they do. The others are accounting technicians like Ginny.
The first time I went out on audit when you were staying away, I was very impressed with the hotel. It's a very nice place. It makes it much more pleasant to stay somewhere nice when you're away from home, because it's not the same as working normally when you can go home and sort of kick off your shoes and relax when you've had a day of badgering people. There's lovely desks to study at, which is quite important when you're going to college every week.
Ginny will be working here in Hampshire in the south of England for about 4 weeks, going home only at weekends. But even though she's away from London, her firm will still give her time off to go to college once a week and pay her fares to and from London.
Don't forget, get it right. Don't mess it up.
Out on audit, you do have to get on well with your senior in order to ask them what you're doing, because otherwise you'll just sit there looking at papers for hours not knowing what you're doing.
Okay. Can you go and see Mr.
Paul is the senior, and he allocates work to the others each day.
Any payments over £50 in the main cash book, scrutinise them and verify them, and especially look for VAT payments. Okay, we're looking for backing data and everything like that. If you've got any problems, don't forget to come back and see me.
Right.
Don't forget the national voucher.
As it's quite important to get an overall picture of the company when you're auditing, you also tend to get involved with the product they're making. And the company that I'm auditing at the moment makes light fittings, which is quite a nice, bright, cheerful thing to audit. It's fairly interesting to find out about all the pieces that go into it, and all those figures that you're looking up in the purchase book actually apply to something that's being made on the factory floor at the moment. When you go out on audit, first impressions are very important, because you're going to be working with those people for a few weeks. You're going to be reviewing their work, and they might be very sensitive if you start criticising it. You go into a place to audit a company's books, and you're checking people's figures, and you're looking at the picture as a whole picture, whereas all their jobs are part of that whole picture. Some people get slightly on the defensive when you start asking for their books. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Where would I find the VAT documentation?
You would have to obtain that from the chief accountant.
Thank you. Goodbye. So you do have to be very confident and sure of your authority when you ask them for any information that you require. Good morning, Mr. Fletcher.
Good morning, Jenny.
Could I have report 3 and a supporting VAT documentation?
The chief accountant must give Ginny any figures she needs. No information about the accounts of the company can be held back, otherwise she wouldn't be able to do her job properly. But she must treat everything she finds out in the strictest of confidence. The people who are in charge of the files must feel they can trust her. If Ginny betrayed their trust, her firm could lose this job altogether.
Hello, finished that.
Oh, well done. Let's have a look. What have we got here then? you have any problems?
No, not really.
No?
No.
Well, it all looks in order. Can you write a report on it, Jimmy?
Okay.
No, stating exactly what you've done and the checks you did with it. Okay?
Okay, I'll do that now.
Good.
Ginny's job means carrying a lot of responsibility at an early age. She does quite a lot of figure work and analysis on her own, so it's up to her to work as accurately as she can. The job demands care and attention. The work can't be rushed, as every detail is important. It may often take a long time to check and analyse one list of figures, so it's not a job for anyone who is easily bored.
My eventual ambition is to become a certified accountant, but that will involve 3 sets of exams after the ones I'm taking next June. At the moment I earn a relatively low wage for the work I'm doing, but once qualified this should improve quite dramatically.
Right, we've got soon about an hour and a half. I've got some studies.
Good morning again from BBC1. Programmes for schools and colleges continue in 2 minutes with Scene.